Now, Nair, let's talk about a little dark topic that we need to talk about because it's reality. Um, Sadly, there's a lot of mischief that goes on the internet, and it's entirely possible that someone could discover your website and start cut and pasting and putting into their website. Um,
100%.
that happens. I mean, I'd love to tell you that,
All
oh,
the
that'll
time.
never happen. That
All the
happens all
time.
the time. So I know one of the things you do for us is on a regular basis, you review the website to make sure it's not being duplicated somewhere else. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we have a process. So we have a process on the when our people write the content as well as when we maintain the website. So for example, when we write new content, everything is put through a tool called Copyscape that checks if any part of that article that's getting published is copied from any other website. So even a sentence being copied, it'll flag it. So we make sure that nothing we ever post has any copy. Of course, we make sure that it meets all of other Google's guidelines. Second thing, like Gary said, is what we have noticed over the years is when a website is ranking as well, like Gary's is, which usually happens after a while, if you do things properly the way Google wants it, people will start copying it. They're like, oh, he keeps showing up all the time. Let me just copy paste the information and I'll show up too. I mean, people sometimes don't think that Google has pretty smart people working for it. So they think they can fool Google. But of course, Google catches it. When it catches it, sometimes the problem is Google kind of punishes both parties. They don't just punish the one who copied. Sometimes the good guy gets punished too. I mean, they don't do it on purpose, but it happens. So to avoid it, what we do is we constantly keep looking at your content that we published originally, which we know was original content, again, like every few months or so, to make sure that nobody else has copied. When they copy, we don't argue with them. It's just not worth our time. We will just go and rewrite that section or rewrite that page. So it's a constant process. Gary is absolutely right. It's not just about, because I know we had conversations with clients. They're like, no, I wrote it. How come somebody else has the same information? Because you did such a good job. Somebody just stole it from you. It's unfortunately,
Well, and you're also proactive, Naren, in that the website is completely dynamic. You're
Yes.
adding new pages of information on a regular basis. I could be mistaken on this, Naren, so I'm going to ask you for accuracy on this, but I believe that we now have over 100 website pages on my website. Is that
Absolutely. So the website is a breathing, living, that's the way we look at it, organism. It just keeps getting better and better. And the reason we do that is we want to target more and more search terms. So instead of only 10,000 people seeing Gary's practice, now it's 97,000. So the more content we add, the more keywords we can target, and therefore more traffic we can attract.
Yeah, that dynamic nature is one of the elements that's part of the Google ranking algorithm. If you have a static website, meaning it doesn't change, that will drop literally like a rock in ranking on Google because they have a high value. They place a high value on dynamic websites, those that are changing and adding new information and more relevant. Google sees it as more relevant because you're staying up with things. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. The full podcast episode link is in the link below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like our content.